So here's a Superformance Cobra. This is the only replica car in the museum. So Carroll Shelby and Superformance are the only two that build these Cobra cars exactly to spec. But this is a fun little car. It's got a 550 horse 427 engine in it. The car weighs 2,200 pounds, and you can literally be going along in third gear with this car and just step the gas pedal down. It'll light up the two 12-inch Goodyears in the back at 55 miles an hour. Very fun. A 1924 Calliope made by Tangley Company. So this box was owned by Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey back in the day, and that box was on a huge circus wagon that they would pull through town, and they would have an elephant on the wagon pumping a huge bellows to make enough air to make that horn play. Here's the Flatboy. I built this back in 1984. It's a 1950 flathead Harley engine, but I cut off the drive system on that side and took out the Harley transmission. I put in a jack shaft. It's got a ring gear on there with a Sportster electric starter on it, and I came through with a Horstman centrifugal racing go-kart clutch. So it's fully automatic and electric start, and it'll run 65 miles an hour. It's got a rear fork from a 1941 Harley, and those are Honda Trail 70 wheels with Dunlop tires. But it looks like a little fat boy, but because it's a flathead engine, we coined the name Flatboy. This bike's been in German magazines, Japanese magazines, and American magazines, and just a fun little bike. This one gets more pictures at the drag strip than the race bikes. 1966 Oldsmobile Tornado, that was GM's first front-wheel drive car. The first 2 years they had the 425 engine that was a V8. It only could burn premium fuel. Here's a motorcycle I built here. It's called the Woody motorcycle. It's 205 cubic inch, 3,370 cc's. So a gigantic V8 engine in here, but or maybe V-twin engine, I mean. But on the front exhaust pipe, I built an elaborate coffee pot that I can actually brew a pot of coffee going down the road, generated by the heat of the front pipe, with a Harley petcock for reserve in case your buddy gets the last cup. And this is a pretty rare Pontiac here. This is a Pontiac Catalina 2+2. Pontiac did make a lot of Bonnevilles and Catalinas, but very few 2+2s. This is one of the first two General Lees ever made. George Barris he passed away a couple of years ago. He built the Munstermobile and the Batmobile and the Flintstonemobile and all the Fast and Furious cars. And when the original Dukes of Hazzard series came out, they called up George Barris and said, "George, we want a car called the General Lee. What's it going to be?"
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm.
And he picked a '69 Dodge Charger, and he made this car and another one, and then these two cars drove around the United States promoting the original Dukes of Hazzard series, which is kind of cool. And then these ideas all went off to a place in Texas where they built 267 more and smashed them all to hell. MGTD here, a really neat old car. 67 Corvette Roadster, nice 67 GTO convertible. Flew out to San Diego and bought this and drove it home all the way across the United States. And this is a very rare one here. This is a 1968 GTX. It's the exact same body style as the Roadrunner, but it's an upgrade version. The GTX had fancier interior and fancy this and fancier that. So this is one of 37 made with a Hemi engine and a 4-speed and a convertible. This is a 1970, and that's a 1971. And they were termed the CUDA. It's like a hyphen CUDA. They made the Barracuda and the Barracuda SE and all that, but the CUDA was the cool one. See that's attached to the engine, and then the hood would come and see where it says shaker. When the engine runs, that thing jiggles, you know. Now in 1970, they made 14 of these. They're worth $3 to $4 million a piece nowadays. And in 1971, in 71, they kicked them up a little bit. They put those gills in the side of the fender representing the Barracuda fish. So this is the 45. I built this in 17 days. You kickstart all 4 of these flathead engines with one big twin transmission. They're all timed on top dead center. They all sing the same song at the same time. All the throttles come up at the same time. I had a whole pile of 45 motors, and I got this idea in my head to build a multi-engine motorcycle. But I only had 17 days left before Harley's 105th anniversary parade in August of '08, and I wanted to drive it through the parade. So I thought, can I do it or not? By the 15th day, I had the bike running, and then 2 more days to get the paint job on and get it wired, and away we went for the parade. Here's pictures of us in the parade in Milwaukee. And there's a picture here too, one of our shop parties. We went in the back room with it, and we put the bike, started doing a burnout with it, and I got up into third gear, smoking the rear tire with all 4 engines going.
Like our page and share it with your mates so you don't miss the next episode of Doc's Harley-Davidson, presented by EI Engineering.